Welcome everybody. Welcome to my channel, The Financial Trader's Mindset. So in this video, what I'm going to talk about, and I feel that this is a very, very important topic. Why trading actively with less than six figures is ruining your life. I think it's very important. Now, just a little introduction on myself for those that don't know or are new to the channel. I've been financially free in my 30s. I trade the markets full time. I also do some side hustles on the side, but yeah, my time is all for me, and I do what I want with it, right? So, I think I have some credibility in that case, right? So, yeah. So I want to really touch on. I see so many new traders coming in with 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K, and they're like, I'm going to trade the markets and I want to do this full time. The problem with that is that you simply just won't make enough to make it worth it, right? It really is. I'm going to break it down super simple here. It doesn't even matter the strategy. It doesn't matter, how active you are. None of that matters, right? In this sense, simply because you're going to be spending a lot of time to generate those returns, right? Even if you're a great trader. Now, say on average, a trader makes 20, 30, 50% per year, and that's a high, that's a high return, right? But 50% a year, we'll say that, right? And if your whole account is 20K, 30K, 50K, you're not even making minimum wage, right? And if you're very active, just put that into the amount you're getting paid per minutes per hour. Simply not worth it. Now you're probably sitting there, okay, I make a good point. You're saying, Float Locker, you make a good point. So what do I do? It's very simple. And most will listen to this advice and just say, you know what, screw that guy. I'm gonna make it. And that's fine. Some people do. But for all the people that you hear that make it trading with a small amount into a large amount, there is a graveyard of bodies that have been financially ruined in the markets simply because they just don't have an edge. They just don't know how to trade. They're just gambling, right? So you don't hear about those people. You only hear about the good stories because no one wants to talk about their failures, right? Not a lot of people. It's very hard to talk about failure and put it out there in the world. So not a lot of people are going to do that. So what do you need to do if you don't have six figures to trade with? Very simple. You take your money that you're going to trade with, put it in a long-term investment account. Now, you can put it in any assets that you want, right? But make sure you have conviction in those assets, right? Which means you did your research, you like the asset, you love the asset, whatever, and you want to own it, and you want to buy more of it if price goes down, right? You run with that thesis, that fundamental thesis, whatever it is, whatever gives you that conviction in that asset, and you run with it until something changes with that asset that changes your mind on that asset fundamentally, not because you're emotionally attached to the price action, right? Price is going to go up and down. Now, it depends on your risk profile, right? Maybe you don't like a lot of risk, so just throw it in the S&P 500 and just plow as much money as you can into it, right? And let that grow. If you're in crypto, yeah, get some Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? Maybe a couple altcoins. Don't go too crazy on the altcoins, but at least keep 50% of your portfolio. If you love risk, minimum 50% in Bitcoin, at least. That way, you still ride the market waves, right? So it's very important to understand that, because as you do that, your account will grow. And as it grows, it'll eventually get to a point where you're like, okay, now maybe I can take a small portion of my account, put it in a separate account. Don't commingle your funds with long-term investment and short-term, because you're going to, temptation. You want to keep an honest man honest, right? You don't want to be tempted to take your long-term and start day trading and fucking trading options and shit, right? So it's very important to do that. Take a small amount and just trade with a small stack while you grow your long-term portfolio. Because I'll tell you this, when you fail, and you will fail. There will be times where you're just going to take a huge loss. You're going to look back and say, well, shit. I mean, yeah, I blew up this trading account, but you know what? I still have my long term, and it's all good, baby. Because I'm going to ride that to the sunset. That's why. And you constantly got to invest in it. Put in at least 10% of your earnings, more if you can, right? But at least 10%. Start there. And then as you see it grow, you're going to have to see it grow yourself before you eventually change your mind, right? Right now, if you start now, there's going to be so much friction within your mind. You'll be like, oh my God, like, you know, even if it's $100 a month, you're like, man, it's just $100 a month, man. It's not going to do anything. Give it a couple years. You're going to see it grow. And then that's going to change your mind. And you're going to be like, you know what? This shit does work. Holy shit. And that is the hardest part to get through. Once you get through that initial phase of just denial and that friction of just getting started and doing it, it gets easier. And then you're going to be like, you know what? Fuck this 10%. I want to put in 30% of my earnings. And then you're going to see that grow. I want to put in my bonus. I want to put in the extra money that I'm earning from my side income into this. And then you're going to see it really grow, and then compounding, and it's just going to grow and grow, right? So it's very important to do that. You know, it's just very difficult to get started. And I understand. I've been there, you know, and this all comes from a place of experience. You know, talking about how trading with less than 6 figures is ruining your life. Because I've done it. I've traded with 5K, 10K, right? I've saved a month, 6 months, a year to get my trading stack up of 5K, 10K, and then leverage it up and then blow out within weeks, sometimes even a day. And that is devastating. You're like, oh my God, I put in all this work to earn this amount of money. It wasn't even about the money, right? It was more so that I just put in so much time to get this money put together only to blow it. And that is the devastating part. And that's where most people quit. So I say again, start that long term. That long-term account is going to save you. It's going to keep you in the game to where, like, when you blow out that trading account, you'll be like, you know what, fuck it. I have this long-term account. I'm going to keep stacking and working. And then with some extra money, I'll fund my trading account and try again. There's nothing wrong with that. But see, the problem is most new investors, they just jump into a trading account, slinging 0DT options, thinking they're going to make it. Sorry to say, it's not going to work, man. You might get lucky here and there. You might even make it. That's the allure. That's what draws us in. But you know, I've been there, and I know how difficult it can be. So I hope this really hits home to someone. You know, leave a comment below. I will, you know, if you have some questions or just like how to get started. And just one thing, automate everything. Anything you can, automate it. Like the deposits, the weekly, even daily. If you want to do a daily deposit, weekly deposit, monthly deposit, you know, brokers do that now. You can just have it. It comes out of your account automatically. You don't even notice it unless you're looking at your statements. And then it gets automatically invested. You know, I like to use M1 Finance. I use that for my long term, and I barely look at it every month. Just taken out from my bank account, goes in M1 Finance, and then you could set up to auto invest, but I like to manually invest it when I have a big enough stack and when I see an opportunity in the market. But I've been doing this for a long time, right? But for you, if you're just starting out, everything auto deposits from your bank into your brokerage, into the M1, and then it auto invests. You set up your pie chart of the stocks you want. You can even get into crypto now because they have the ETF. You could go into Bitcoin and Ethereum. You could invest in them as well, right? So do that. I just hate seeing people blowing up. I see too many people blowing up and never coming back, right? Because they took too much risk. They're trading their stack. They think it doesn't work. They think investing doesn't work. They have this bad perspective on markets. But I'm telling you, the stock market, the financial markets can make you a lot of wealth, right? It can bring in a lot of income. So, you know, just trying to keep it real here, and hopefully it hits home, man. So like and subscribe. If you like this format, you know, I always have these thoughts and hot takes, right? And I'm just like, oh, I want to put it. I write it down in my what is it, Notion app, and I'm just like, I'll get to it. But I got a stack of like ideas I want to do, and I'm just like, I just don't want to do the freaking editing and the YouTube and setting up everything, the microphone, and it's just a pain in the ass. So I just do a quick video here and I'm going to upload it. Maybe not even a thumbnail, but hopefully it helps. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. You know, You don't have to trade, just invest, just stack up your cash and invest it, right? All right, peace.